Taranda versus Valera.
Watch your back. Elune give me strength.
Hey guys, I continue to see Thief Priest on the ladder, and it got me thinking that come rotation, I wonder if it's going to be a more viable deck, and what it would be like to have a mirror match where both players are basically just stealing cards that would steal each other's cards. So I thought I'd share a game with you. I had played before the ladder reset. It's a singleton rogue, but he appeared to have a more thiefy build, so it made for a very interesting game.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Come on, share.
We are friends now. Hello, friend.
Unfortunately, getting Khadgar this early in the game didn't really have any way for me to exploit it, but it definitely made me wonder what it would be like for Khadgar to precede Murozond.
We must band together, united for Dalaran.
Hand of flesh for the dragon. Clear the path.
I think this was a weak play, and one of the reasons why later on Cabal Shadow Priest just no longer made the cut.
Obey.
Darken the skies, my nightmare rays.
The future is
Here's where things start to get wild. Because I already stole his Galakrond, I decided to take Kronk's here, and I figure Seance Lazul was probably the best use of my mana, and I lucked into a zero-cost Zephrys that he happened to be holding, so that was really cool.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Here I think Tyrion probably would have been the better play, but Natalie's more in the spirit of the deck, so I think that's why I chose her. So for those keeping score at home, so far I've stolen his Siamat, Kronk's, Zephrys, and Galakrond, as well as played my own Zephrys.
Darken the skies, my nightmare rays.
It's pretty incredible given the board state that I was able to get a free Mass Hysteria. I think it's even more incredible exactly how it came out. for my opponent to have a reborn minion and still for me to achieve full board clear is just amazing.
Life and hope are worth fighting.
Here we see Chameleos has turned into his zero-cost Aeon Reaver, which is perfect for the current board state.
Your future is
All in all, I negated his 8-8 while putting 2 of my own, as well as another 7-8 worth of stats on the board. Now when I saw my opponent play this, I was terribly mystified. Of all the minions he could have used that on, he chose one of the worst, and I had no idea why, but he follows it up with a Zephrys Shadow Word Ruin. And this was really impressive to me because the way he played it out, it was very clear to me that he knew exactly what he was doing, and I thought that was an incredible play. Here I don't choose Rush because of the lackey that I have in my hand, which is nice because it enables me to basically have a Siamat that I get 3 choices without having to play Spirit of the Shark or the Shaman, you know, hero power of doubling your battle cries.
How about a new life? How about a new life?
This almost felt like a waste of Kronks, but at the same time, what was I to do? Obviously that downgrade would not stand, so I decided to go all the way. In the end, I only get Geppetto, who statistically is not better than Kronks. Fortunately, though, my opponent was kind of stuck in a situation where he felt he needed to sap Geppetto, which allowed me to make use of his battle cry.
I'll make you a real toy.
Here I'm trying my best to hit the button every turn simply because this looks like it's going to be a value versus value game. And I've been thinking the Rogue Galakrond decks, their upside is they're capable of incredible tempo, since in any given game they can draw as many as 7 cards that become 0 cost. But at the same time, you gotta invoke your Galakrond first to do that, and then if you're waiting around for that, you're just not making use of all of that. So I think part of the reason why it's as good as it is because of the added value of its lackeys, which is a bit RNG based.
Double time and double trouble.
Once again, I think Kronks is wasted here. I'm assuming my opponent's thought process was something along the lines of between things like Shadow Step and, you know, regurgitating value, it's better to just clear the board.
How much is this worth to you?
I'm up to no good. Me too.
And in an amazing turn of luck, I happen to get Houndmaster Shaw, which actually allows me to clear off his 4/4 and ends up being a bit of a feature for the next couple turns even. I was really surprised to learn that he had Myra's Unstable Element in his deck. This also kind of reveals he's more of a tempo-y kind of thief build because things like Underbelly Fence and Vendetta lend themselves to heavy tempo as well as being able to dump your hand relatively easily.
Double time and double pay.
Okay, with the weapon and him taking 10 to my face, he actually starts to look pretty frightening here.
Evil is fun. No! Not the face.
Here I think Ion Reaver on his Kronks would have been a better play, but luckily it works itself out.
On the wings of evil. Winds of the south, come to my aid! Unity, precision.
Here I get my hands on what I believe is my second Siamat, which is pretty great considering I don't have one in the deck list.
Clear the path.
Funny move, and no one gets hurt.
Love the feel of wind in me sails.
Wait for me.
After his Boom Pistol Bully, I'm very fortunate to draw my Plague of Death here. And unfortunately, Geppetto made my Convincing Infiltrator a 1/1, so kind of made that virtually useless. I probably shouldn't have played it here.
I'll turn down. Wait for me.
A place to hide.
I thought this was a mistake also. Surely distributing the taunts would have been better.
On wings of evil.
You'll notice that I'm going out of my way to keep his board clear of lackeys. My thought process has got to be the Heist Baron Togwaggle. However, since he already has transformed into Galakrond, I'm not sure if it probably would have been better to send the card into his face. Anyways, at this point he draws the rest of his deck as I was checking how many cards he had left, so being at 9 health, he's got to be uncomfortable in this position.
Our tombs.
How much is this worth to you?
But clearly he knew his hand better than I did, and he's making a pretty solid play to end the game here. Now I end up whipping out Natalie Celine to take out his Edwin. However, in retrospect, because my opponent's out of a deck and I literally just gotta wait him out and survive, I think it would have been better to use the Shadow Word Ruin and then play the 5/5 that would heal me for 5 at the end of turn. It'd be pretty comparable board state, but I'd have more health.
One stab, finish him! Place to hide.
Again, given the state of the board and the fact that he's out of a deck, Rush and Taunt might have been a better play there.
The touch of the
Let me show you the arcade.
The king, I the king.